One of my favorite games from the PS3 era is Uncharted 2. I remember it being the first game that I played on my PS3 all those years back. I got a request on one of my videos to cover this game, and that nostalgia inside of me instantly started kicking, and here we are. Well, since I don't like completing the multiplayer related trophies, I'll just skip the PS3 version of this game and just be covering the remastered PS4 version, which comes with its own additional extended collection of DLC trophies, but more on that later. The base game has a total of 45 trophies, of which there are 31 bronze, 10 silver, 3 gold, and that shining platinum. Since there are 4 difficulty related trophies which can be stacked, I decided to go with the crushing mode right away. The story starts with our hero Drake, who's practically hanging between life and death, trying to get himself out of this mess he has made. Jumping out of the hanging train, we see this flashback of how it all started, where we meet our old friend Flynn and his new girlfriend Chloe, who's our ex, but the poor sod doesn't know that yet. Flynn wants our help to steal a lamp from a museum in Istanbul, which leads to a treasure of Marco Polo's lost fleet. We accept the job and we are back to the present day, where we have to crawl in this dying state a bit more. Right at the start, we see something shining over at the distance, and picking this gets us our first trophy. Well folks, this is one of the 101 collectible treasures present in this game, and there are 8 trophies which are related to collecting all these treasures. My goal here was to collect as many treasures as possible and loading back different chapters for any cleanup. Anyway, we get a gun and are introduced to the basics of shooting and parkour in this area, and see another flashback of Chloe and Drake planning to double cross Flynn and his business associate. At the end of this level, we find this mysterious dagger which is also on the loading screen, and we then jump back into another flashback where we are going to the museum with our friends to steal the lamp. This mission introduces some new gameplay mechanics such as stealth, which doesn't work as smoothly as I remember it, but is alright. Anyway, I clicked the down button on the D-pad which popped the photo mode and unlocked the easiest trophy in this game. After a good amount of sneaking and parkouring, we make it inside the vault and get our lamp, which contains a map showing that the lost fleet had been transporting this stone from the mythical city of Shambhala before being thrown ashore in Borneo by a tsunami. Flynn double crosses us and we have to escape the alarmed museum guards. No wonder this game's called Among Thieves. Sadly, the escape attempt fails and we get arrested, only to be saved after 3 months by our dearest friends Sully and Chloe, who says she had nothing to do with Flynn ditching us. Turns out Flynn and his client Lazarevich have been working together all along and are in search of the treasure in Borneo, and now we got a mole in their ranks. We go to Borneo trying to sneak inside Lazarevich's camp to have a look at his findings. Since the crushing mode can be, crushing, I was trying to be as sneaky as possible when I unlocked Bare Knuckle Brawler for defeating 20 enemies in a hand-to-hand combat. We then plant some bombs to distract the guards and sneak inside the camp, where we find what Lazarevich is up to and that he's trying to pick up Marco Polo's trail back to Shambhala. We head to this cave where we find this dagger and the map which can lead us to the golden city of Shambhala. However, there's a slight hiccup and we are caught by Flynn, who takes away the map, but not to worry as we are later freed by Chloe. The map leads us all to Nepal, which is at the verge of destruction thanks to a civil war going on courtesy of Lazarevich. I love this mission as the streets reminded me of India, and the combat and parkour sections in this area are just... I love how cinematic this whole section is, from getting chased down the streets by a truck to jumping across burning buildings to taking down a chopper. Anyway, while shooting off some enemies, we get 2 easy trophies for killing 30 enemies with MKNDI and West 44. We are in search of this temple, which is our best lead to Shambhala, when we stumble across Elena and her cameraman, who are tracking down Lazarevich to prove he's still alive. Well folks, for those of you who haven't played this game, Elena is the journalist from the first game, who's also Drake's love interest. Anyway, we team up with them cause Drake's a lover boy. At this point, I was taking a break from the game and comparing my game stats with my other profile, which unlocked Take Me to Your Leader, which is a DLC trophy, so let's not count it for now. While fighting off some enemies, we get a trophy for getting 20 headshots. We finally make it to the temple and go inside with Chloe to do some digging. Wait, that didn't come out right. We figure out the location of where we need to go next, right when we hear some gunshot sound notifying us of enemy presence. Heading outside, we find the cameraman guy shot and have to escape Lazarevich's men while carrying the dead weight, who gets shot at the end of the sequence anyway. Lazi takes both our dagger and the map and we escape with Elena. One big theme of this game is how we find the next clue and always get captured by our enemy only to escape again and repeat the cycle. It's either how lucky this motherfucker is or that the villains are too fucking dumb. Anywho, we are back on the streets again, fighting any enemies we see. I completed 20 kills while hanging on this board, which got me Hangman, and also got 50 kills with the 92 FS 9mm pistol, which got me another easy bronze trophy. I think this was the first section where I was dying repeatedly due to my bad aim and the difficulty. However, this proved an advantage as I unlocked Grenade Hangman for killing 10 enemies with grenades while hanging. We get another trophy in this area for collecting 20 treasures. Drake feels like he needs to save Chloe from Lazarevich and obviously find that treasure, so he comes up with a plan to hop on the train where Lazarevich's army is. But Drake just can't be silent and gets caught up by a huge wave of enemies. During this fight, we get an easy trophy for killing 30 enemies with a MOS 12 shotgun. Big guys with miniguns have almost surrounded us and we are saved by Elena right on the nick of time, and we make a jump on the Shambhala Express. Again, a very fun mission where we need to fight off waves of enemies, chopper and a mini boss of sort while keeping our balance and not falling off the train. While on the train, we get 2 more easy trophies: Bare Knuckle Slugger for defeating 50 enemies with a hand-to-hand combat and killing 20 enemies with a pistole. We have to fight Lazarevich's lieutenant who's carrying the dagger and gets saved by Chloe again, only to get shot by Flynn and derailing the entire cart in retaliation, which completes the backstory from the start of the game. The most annoying part here was that we have to climb out of the train again, even though it was covered in the starting mission. Anyway, we get back our dagger and pass out due to blood loss and cold weather, only to wake up in a Tibetan village where this guy asks us to follow him. He takes us to this house where we see Elena again along with this guy called Schaefer, who tells us more about the dagger, and well, for the first time ever, Nate's not so interested in the treasure anymore.
The truth is, everything I touch turns to shit.
To convince him otherwise, Schaefer sends Nate and Tenzin to find the remains of his expedition. We are in this snow-covered mountainous cave where we are attacked by strange yeti-like beasts. Boy oh boy, are they tough, and take them bullets head-on like a tank. We find the remains of Schaefer's old partners and figure that he had to kill him to protect the world from the power of the Chintamani stone. With our head clear once again, we are off to save the world, or the village in this case, which is burning thanks to Lazarevich. I think crushing gets really crushing from this level onwards as the wave of enemies get a bit relentless. We get another easy bronze here for killing 50 enemies with the info. After a good number of deaths and killing a lot of enemies, we see Schaefer and are chased by a tank while destroying half of the village. I think it's because of big set pieces like these that I fell in love with the Uncharted series. They really made me feel as if I was controlling a big action movie. Anyways, we destroy the tank and follow Lazarevich's trail. The stealth sections in this game are not perfect, but I highly appreciate them being included, as the endgame areas can be a nightmare at times. Up next, we get the title of Master Ninja for killing 50 enemies by melee attacking them from behind, and an easy bronze for killing 30 enemies with the Desert Eagle. We get another weapon kill related trophy for killing 50 enemies with a Dragon Sniper. Finally, we catch up with Schaefer, who's definitely not in good shape.
About what?
Everything you touch does turn to shit.
He tells us where Lazarevich is and we are back on his trail. We see those yeti-like creatures attacking Lazarevich's men, where we unlock another trophy for killing 50 guys with a grenade launcher. After taking care of a good number of enemies, we make it to the tower where we see Chloe again, and she gives us back the dagger. After some puzzle solving, we find a secret entrance where we need to head next. But before that, we need to take care of more goons. While fighting off these guys, we get another trophy for killing 30 enemies with an RPG. Finally, we find the entrance to Shambhala, but are sadly caught by the villains, which I clearly didn't see coming. We have to team up with Flynn to unlock the passage ahead and get ambushed by more yetis. We can shoot these yetis a bajillion times and they'll tank it, but Lazarevich can clearly one-shot them for plot convenience. Well, we figure out that they're not yetis and just avatar-like blue guys who had too much of that blue pill. Stone. Right as we are about to get shot by Lazarevich, some blue guys attack everyone, and as always, we escape with the ladies. I swear this mission is the worst no matter what difficulty you play at. Them blue dudes are just too tough to kill with the shitty guns, and the level is filled with shotgun and minigun guys who are again tough. My go-to weapon in the endgame section is always a sniper or a Desert Eagle or a crossbow, as they can one-shot pretty much everyone. Killing 5 blue guys with a sniper rifle unlocked Supernatural Born Killers. Well, I won't be counting it for for now as it's a DLC trophy, but would definitely count this other trophy I got for getting 100 headshots. I unlocked another DLC trophy next for activating a tweak as I was curious to see what it did. We finally make it to the center of the temple where we figure that the Chintamani stone is basically a resin from an old tree of life. Flynn finds us again, he's covered in blood and he blasts off Elena. We ask Chloe to take care of Elena while we rush off to face Lazarevich, who has now consumed the resin which makes him stronger and heals off all his scars. Honestly, this fight's very annoying on Crushing as he can kill us in a couple of shots and sometimes even one-shot us. I remembered the strategy I used all those years back, hanging around the edge of this boulder and shooting the saps to kill him. We finally defeat him and leave him to his fate with the blue guys and rush out as Shambhala collapses. We make it out alive with Elena and Chloe and the credits roll as we unlock all the 4 difficulty specific trophies. Well, with that first playthrough, I had unlocked half of the trophies and the remaining trophies seemed very easy to get. I was low-key disappointed as the crushing mode wasn't as hard as I remembered it to be all those years back, and that itch to try out the new brutal mode began. I checked out the DLC trophy list and we got a total of 8 trophies, of which there are 7 bronze and 1 gold trophy. Well, since I had already unlocked 3 of these, I decided to cover them as well on top of the remaining trophies for that platinum. With these included in, at that point we have collected a total of 27 trophies out of 53. I started my second playthrough with the brutal mode using the Donut Drake skin, as I thought completing the game with this skin will unlock another DLC trophy, which I clearly didn't read through well. We get Intermediate Fortune Hunter right at the start for collecting 40 treasures. I realized that the Donut Drake trophy was for completing a whole speedrun of the game instead of the normal mode, so I switched to Chloe cause why not, and unlocked an easy trophy. We make it till Borneo rather with ease, and I was beginning to think, oh, brutal ain't that hard, only to die a million fucking times on this level. Man oh man, brutal is no joke. Since you don't get shit for ammo, no fucking grenades or special weapons on the stealth kills, and of course, get 2-shot by enemies with handgun. And bro, don't even get me started with the bloody checkpoints. I spent like 3 to 4 hours just on this fight where enemy aiming was god level and I literally couldn't do shit. Somehow I made it to the part where the enemies attack Sully and couldn't save him on time and had to redo it like a million more times. Also, the worst part about this mode is whenever you die, Drake fucking smiles at you and those asshole enemies laugh saying loser or you suck. Honestly, I lost all that motivation I had to complete this mode and I realized why it has a completion rate of only 0.3%. I saw a video on some tips for this difficulty and found about this glitch to get more ammo, which is a lifesaver honestly. Finally, I completed this area and moved on for good. The game gets a bit more easier in the next few levels where we get Relic Finder for finding a strange relic. My go-to trick was to aim really fast while in cover so that I can realign the cursor to the enemy and only get a couple of shots quickly to kill him. The enemies wearing the grey outfit can get stun locked and the black outfit enemies tank some bullets, so I was making sure to be as careful as possible. Also, I found guns like FAL to be super useful on this mode compared to something like a shotgun which was of no help. Another good thing here is that the game still counts your progress in terms of kills even if you die, which made it easier to get our next trophy. I was making sure to collect all the missed treasures so I won't have to replay the game again. Up next we got Headshot Expert for killing 5 enemies in a row with headshots. This came more naturally on this difficulty as I tried to make every bullet count. Also, the one and only thing which I liked about this bullshit difficulty was that some of the kills which I got were so stylish and somewhat realistic that it made me feel like one of those gamers who make videos on stylishly killing enemies. Anyways, we got another trophy for collecting 60 treasures and made a smooth progress, especially after that Borneo stuck up. Moving along, we reached the train levels, which was a fucking nightmare after a certain point. I mean, just look at it.
Here they come. Here they come. Here they come. Here they come.
This mode is so broken because of the bloody checkpoints where you get killed the moment you are spawned. You can literally tell that they just added this shit as an afterthought and really didn't optimize it at all. The only sort of positive here was that the helicopter and the tank sequences felt more like the crushing difficulty, otherwise they would be impossible to complete. Anyway, let's move along with the trophies as I can rant about this shit all day long. We get another bronze for completing 50 kills with the micro 9mm gun. The next section which was crazy was this village section where we need to help out Tenzin and fight off the tank. It was super hectic as I would die more because of the NPCs trying to help me rather than the enemies themselves. After this section, we make it to the final areas of the game, which were relatively easier in comparison as they were quite difficult even on the crushing mode. We get another trophy for collecting 80 treasures and Dynamite Master for blowing 5 guys with a single grenade. One thing which really irritated me was that when I cover shot really fast, Drake would shoot 2 bullets instead of 1, which not only wasted ammo but also killed me at times when I was using a grenade launcher, which again kind of showed how unoptimized this difficulty really was. Finally, we make it to Lazarevich fight after a bajillion deaths, and thankfully this boss fight is the same difficulty as the crushing mode. Completing this mode finally unlocked that gold trophy for completing the game on brutal mode, which felt even more satisfying than the platinum itself. I love how the trophy image is a gold Buddha, which sort of signifies true peace. Honestly, it's satisfying, sure, but I definitely would not do this ever again as it's so not worth it and feels so artificial and unoptimized. Well folks, we are not done yet as we still have to collect a total of 16 trophies, of which we have 2 collection related trophies, 5 speedrun related trophies, 7 kills related trophies, YOLO among thieves for completing the final mission without dying, and that shining platinum. Since I only missed a couple of last treasures on the train level, I went back to it and collected all of them, getting Master Fortune Hunter and Master Thief collection. I didn't realize it right away that in order to get the timer related trophies, we needed to be playing the game on the speedrun mode, and completed the Borneo level under 6 minutes and 30 seconds multiple times only to fail getting the trophy. Well, at least we got run and gunner here instead for killing 20 enemies by shooting without aiming. I loaded the speedrun mode and completed the level under 6 minutes, unlocking Staying Dry. Up next, I loaded the Nepal level on the speedrun mode and completed it under 7 minutes, getting Quick Jaunt through a war zone. Honestly, these speedrun related trophies are fairly easy to achieve using the easy mode where you can just run past most enemies. Up next, we load the train mission for another timer related trophy where we get the 250 headshots trophy, and completing this level under 7 minutes unlocked Bullet Train from Hell. Up next, we loaded the final mission on the normal difficulty and tried to beat Lazarevich and complete the final platforming section without dying. This took a couple of attempts, but we completed getting YOLO among thieves. I loaded one of the end levels again and started killing as many enemies as possible with the SAS-12 shotgun, unlocking another trophy. I then loaded Borneo level to get all the remaining hand-to-hand related trophies, which required us to one-shot enemies by punching them after weakening them with gunfire first. Okay, so only 4 more trophies remained in my way, and all of them could be achieved in a single speedrun session. I started the speedrun of the game on easy mode with the donor Drake and skipped as much fighting as possible and rolled through the areas. Surprisingly, in the Borneo level, I completed killing 75 enemies in a row without dying, which unlocked Survivor and that shining platinum, which I wanted to keep for the end. Honestly, it was very unsatisfying as I really wasn't expecting it to pop at this point. Anyways, I carried on further with the game and it crashed on the train level. I loaded back the save and it automatically removed the donut costume, and I realized it 15 minutes later and worried that I would have to play another session as Donut Drake. Also, by the time I reached the last levels, the difficulty sort of spiked even on the easy mode, and it started taking me more time in some areas than expected. Well, luckily the trophy gods were on my side and we completed the speedrun in just 10 minutes under the deadline of 3.5 hours, unlocking Needer for Speeder and Too Fat, Too Furious. Honestly, this is the second time that one trophy felt more satisfying to me than getting the platinum itself. Well, I love this game, and if you haven't played it yet, then I highly recommend it. If you have made it this far into the video and enjoyed it, then please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel as it really motivates me to make more content, and also leave a comment below of any game recommendations. With that said, bye bye and see you in the next video.